The European Union has been accused of declaring war on itself after Brussels launched legal action against 24 of its 27 member states for breaching obscure telecommunications regulations. An UK-based think tank Brexit Facts4U.org has questioned whether the bloc has a death wish, as well as suggesting it would be better off focusing on improving its vaccination rollout across the continent. The Commission yesterday opened infringement procedures against the countries, which together represent 94% of the EU's total population, for failing to enact new rules under the European Electronic Communications Code. In theory, the rules, with which the UK is fully compliant, despite having quit the bloc, are supposed to modernize the EU regulatory framework for electronic communications to ensure, among other things, higher standards of communication services including more efficient and accessible emergency communications. However, Lee Evans, spokesman for Facts4EU, suggested the draconian approach adopted by Brussels was highly indicative of its autocratic approach. He told Express, just when the EU Commission is under attack from all sides for its disastrous vaccination program, and when its president's job is under threat after her temporary closure of the Northern Ireland border last Friday, it goes to war with 24 of its 27 member countries by taking legal action against them. Quite extraordinary. The peoples of EU countries are united in wanting to protect their populations and getting back to normal life as quickly as possible. Across Europe there's huge concern at the EU's woeful performance on vaccinations, compared to the UK's stellar results. Facts4EU has compiled a chart contrasting the 10 million COVID-19 vaccines administered by the UK so far with countries in Europe. Germany, the highest-ranked EU country, had provided less than 2.6 million doses as of yesterday, with France and Italy even further behind. Mr. Evans added, meanwhile it seems the EU Commission has been more interested in pursuing legal action against its own members for not implementing a telecoms regulation. You really couldn't make this stuff up. Thank goodness we left when we did. Former Brexit Party MEP Martin Dobney said, this is a perfect example of how Theresa May's Remainer government and pro-EU Ofcom sold our souls to Brussels. But even then, Boris could have stopped this. Hats off to the 24 member states who have completely ignored the EU. If only we were one of them. Committed Brexiteer David Campbell Bannerman, a former UKIP MEP, added, the fact that the EU is an undemocratic and remote bureaucracy is clearer than ever now from this, and from the vaccines fiasco. In relation to the wider point, Facts4EU's report said, does the EU Commission have a death wish? It is fair to say that the EU Commission is not having a good week. It has come under attack from all quarters for its gross mismanagement of the EU vaccination program, and for its quite extraordinary actions in breaking the Belfast Good Friday Agreement by activating Article 16 of the NE Protocol of the Withdrawal Agreement. In particular, its president, Ursula von der Leyen, has been fighting a rearguard action to keep her job. There is no realistic chance that she will be fired, however, as that does not happen in the EU. It might have been thought that now would not be the time for the Commission to issue legal proceedings against almost all of its member countries. Perhaps, however, this is just one more example of the sheer arrogance of the unelected apparatchiks who run the EU machine on a day-to-day basis.